Alright, are we live? Let's have a look. Ah, we are. Let me see if I can get us up on here. Yes. Brilliant. Alright. I always see this is that my camera on my main screen over here, like, you know, what I can see on my phone, it always seems more zoomed in than it actually is. So I didn't know you could see my legs, but that's fine. It doesn't really bother me if you see my legs that much. But you might see more of me, but I might slightly move you guys slightly closer like that. There you go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Alright. So today I'm working on page 7 out of 36. I wasn't too sure if I was going to live stream today because I didn't know if I was going to get this page sketched out today, but I did. It was a lot quicker than I thought actually to sketch out this page. It's not as complicated drawings as I thought I would do for this page. So I'm pretty pleased with it so far. I like the paneling on this page. It feels different enough from the previous page that it should flow quite nicely, and then you got the S shape coming through as well, which is nice. So I'm pretty pleased with it. But yes, this is what we're going to be working on today. So let's get started. And I kind of wanted to start with the faces first. I'm just going to get Larkin's ref sheet up because, again, I always do the sketch without ever looking at Larkin's ref sheet, so I should probably get it up just in case for the line art. Though I think I've pretty much drawn everything pretty much how they usually are drawn for Larkin. So, right, panel 2. Let's find this. P2. Let's make a new folder. Right. And we'll work on this panel first. Okay, that brush needs to be bigger. Let's go 70. I think 70 should do it. So, what should I work on? Should I work on the eyes first? I like working on the eyes first. I think actually eyebrows first because they're just a bit lower down than usual. So if we go like that, and then I don't want them to be too long. I just might reduce that slightly. Like that, and bring that up again. Have them end sooner. And I will quickly turn my brush onto a vector erase brush. Let's quickly do that. Right, and then we know there's going to be some stress lines there. And then if we do the other eyebrow as well, and I'm just going to readjust that. Right, right, so this eyebrow's coming down this way. And this one's always going to be slightly shorter as well. Cool. So the vector line's going to work for me today. Bring that in slightly sooner as well, maybe. Bit of that across. Okay. And then let's reduce these lines down just not like that. If I don't hold down the shift key, that'd be good. Kind of like that. And then the end line should come in sooner this side as well. Probably like down there somewhere. Something like that. And then right, and then if we just tidy up these lines down here. Right, and then I'm just going to redraw that bottom line down there. Get rid of the vector layer here and here. Those should be slightly cleaner lines then. And then I'll probably readjust those eyebrows again once I get the eyes in. Alright. Also, welcome to the stream, everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Elodie Dow. I'm the creator of an independent manga called Thieves from Death. I do all the rating, all the artwork, everything you see, I've made. So everything is done by me. I'm currently working on chapter 11, which has 36 pages that needs to be drawn for it. It's kind of like the final hurrah chapter for the first arc, so it's a very exciting chapter to be working on, to be honest. And I'm really looking forward to share this with all my readers. But we're not quite at like the scene yet that I've been looking forward to drawing quite yet. I think we've got another 7 pages to get to that point, until we get to that big first scene, I think, for this chapter. But currently we're just drawing Element and Larkin, and I really appreciate the rose. Thank you very much. Again, any support really helps me out as an indie creator, so I really appreciate, you know, any support. I really thank you for the rose. That means a lot to me. But yeah, at the moment, this is Larkin who I'm drawing at the moment. Who you can probably see on this top left corner here. He's very purple. Larkin is. He's got a very purple character design. But I do love him a lot. And he is the main character in my manga. So, and at the moment he is far away with his secondary protagonist called Fletcher. But hopefully they can reunite in this chapter. We'll see. I don't want to spoil too much at the moment, but hopefully he can get reunited with him. I'm sure Fletcher is very stressed about not knowing what Larkin is up to right now, so especially if he finds out what he's been doing. So right in there, do a straight hair down there somewhere. And I should say, if you guys were here before but didn't know, I've got a giveaway at the moment for the physical edition of Volume 1 of my manga, as well as some other goodies for the 2nd year anniversary. So if you go to my profile, it's completely free to enter. I'll cover all the shipping for it. So if you're interested in my manga and wanting a physical copy of it, I do have a giveaway at the moment on my profile, so feel free just to enter that if you're either you got parents' permission to, or if you're over 18, then obviously you can just enter in your own accord. I'm just giving away all of that for the 2nd year anniversary at the moment, so feel free to enter that. If not, you can read it online completely for free on Manga Plus Creators, Webtoon Canvas, and Global Comics. That's the third one. These are all the platforms that you can read my manga on at the moment. So yeah, so I've got a physical edition of Volume 1. If not, then you can read everything online, because the first volume only contains the first 6 chapters, so we're quite far ahead really online at the moment. So what's the story of this manga? So essentially, you follow a downtrodden scientist called Larkin, and basically he's a researcher for a man called Sir Atlee, and basically all of his work has been plagiarized by Sir Atlee, and basically he's really down in the dumps about this all, and essentially one night his boss gets murdered, and essentially Larkin is also attempted to be murdered as well, but he's saved by someone called Fletcher, who is also known as the Golden Thief, but he retired like years ago. But essentially that introduces Larkin to a whole world filled with like magic, magical creatures. It's all set in Bath here in England, so it's all quite local to me. And basically what they find out the next day is that Larkin has now been framed for murder of Sir Atlee. So they're kind of going around and trying to clear Larkin's name out. And essentially Fletcher is a detective for the like the supernatural unit in Bath. So they kind of like, it is kind of like a crime mystery supernatural manga. Like if you like, I don't know, like Moriarty the Patriot, Case of the Vanitas, Black Butler, like it's those sort of vibes, I would say. So if you like manga like that, you'll probably like The Fetus of Death, hopefully. So at least those are kind of like, I would say, my main inspirations. It's like those sort of series. I would say that, but like The Grey Man is my favourite like series of all time. So I am quite influenced by The Grey Man as well. Do you want to get anime later down the line? I would love an anime. Who wouldn't like an anime adaptation of their own manga? Like, I feel like that's what everyone would want, right? So, I mean, I'd love one day to get an adaptation, but ideally, for the Fetus Stuff and Death, I've always created it for more of a general British audience. So, you know, if I ever get an anime adaptation or anything like that, I really would like it to be available for the general public here in the UK. So if it aired on, like, I don't know, like BBC, ITV or something like that, I'd like it to be streamed on the, you know, national TV, rather than like a streaming site, just because I feel quite strongly of, you know, of the Fetus Stuff and Death being quite accessible to the general public. So it's why I release it online for free, because I like people being able to access it. So what laptop are you using, please? So this is my Cintiq 32. So it's a very large graphics tablet, but it has like its own computer inside of it. So it's like all in one. But yeah, it's a Cintiq 32. It's made by Wacom. My expectation's high because it looks good. I'm glad you like my artwork. It said it is, I would say, quite a slow burn sort of manga. Again, like, I'm still on the first arc, but I'm like almost done with the first arc now, because again, this is like the final hurrah, as you will. So we're almost there with it. So yeah, it said this chapter is basically all the big fights and all the big conversations and stuff like that. So that's what this chapter is about, really. I know we just kind of finished uploading all the pages for chapter 10 on Webtoon Canvas, so all my Webtoon Canvas readers should be up to date now with what's going on in chapter 10. So I can talk about spoilers pretty much all the time now, because I don't feel like I'm spoiling my Webtoon readers anymore. So since it's all uploaded on there. Right, let's have a look here. What is happening with this eye? It's like the ink is a bit too runny on this one. I don't know what's happening. And then this one needs to be slightly thicker. And then maybe bring that down, maybe bring that strand down that way. Always hard to draw Larkin's hair in this sort of angle. Unless I'll just bring like a strand down there, maybe go that way. But it feels weird not having anything kind of sticking out here. Go something like that maybe. But I feel like his hair's too big then on the side, but I don't know. Let's have a look. And then probably better going that way. Bring that in there. Get rid of this one here. Sorry, I will have a look at your comments in just a second. I'm just going to get his hair sorted out first. Right, and then this one can go straight up here. Right, and then right, that will do. I'm not going to spend too long on it, because again, I'm not that precious about the line art aspect really, compared to I think what most people think. Because otherwise it's just going to take me like 20 years to complete a page. So I might just quickly tidy up that parting part there. And then that one should really go lower down. I think that's what's been annoying me. And that one should come down there. That one should go there. Okay, that was good enough. Oh, you like stories like Vagabond? Yeah, I said those aren't really the sort of manga that I'm really into. Those are, you know, like I think they're good, but I don't think they're necessarily like something that majorly appeals to me. You know what I mean? Like I still really enjoyed it, but I know that's like it's not like one of my favorite like genres or you know my favorite sort of rating, but I still enjoy it. Like I can you can tell it's like still a masterpiece even if it doesn't fully appeal to me. You know what I mean? How did you write your main plot? Because I have ideas, but I can't plan out my own properly. Well, it really depends. Do you have like certain scenes in mind? Do you have like, oh, I have the characters, but I don't have a plot for the characters? So like, where's your head at in terms of your story so far? Because then I can kind of give you suggestions from there. In terms of how to develop a story. Because I tackle with both when creating the Thieves of Stuff and Death. So, alright, this is Elwyn here, so give me 1 second. Elwyn. I need a close up of your face, Elwyn. Thank you. I say that, but I'm like a really big fan of Monster. I really enjoyed Monster, but again, I guess I enjoyed Monster because it's a mystery series. And I really like mysteries, so... What app is this? This is Clip Studio Paint EX. So it's something that you can get on your PC. It's a more expensive edition of Clip Studio Paint. So if that's, you know, if you recognize the interface but it looks a bit different, it's because it's Clip Studio EX, the professional version. You get all like the cool like manga comic tools with it, so that's why I have it. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate any of your guys' support. I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much for following me. Again, if you guys don't know, I've got a giveaway on my profile at the moment for the 2nd year anniversary. So if you want some physical stuff, I'm currently doing a giveaway with some physical stuff at the moment. So feel free just to check out my profile. You can enter that for free. I will ship it for free to anywhere in the world. So if that's something that you're interested in, just check out my profile. If not, you can read online for free, obviously, as well. There's scenes and themes, but in terms of chronological story, I struggle to put it all together. Okay, so what I always suggest is make an outline. So by that I mean there needs to be like a certain flow to a story arc, right? So it's better to put in, okay, I know I want this to happen in that chapter, this, that, and the other. So as long as you've got like a start and the end, the middle part's always the most difficult, I find, to write. So basically what you want to do with each chapter in between, you kind of need to develop your characters within that. Either that, you know, developing characters between other characters, so like exploring relationships, or it needs to have like plot progression, or you learn something new about these characters that you've written about. Those are like other things that you can add in the middle of your story. And obviously for me, like because my manga is a mystery, a lot of the time it is plot based, my like middle chapters, right? But you do tend to learn a lot about the other characters. Like in the last chapter of the Thieves of Stuff and Death, chapter 10, you learn a lot of like little itty bits about some of the side characters and their relationship with my protagonists. And you know that was kind of what the chapter was focusing on, as well as it being like plot driven at that point as well. So you know there's quite a few elements you can add in, but I think you know, you can have several things going on at once in your chapter, you know? So it doesn't need to be totally focused on the plot. The first manga and anime I saw was Berserk. My friend made me read it. I'm still mad at him. I couldn't even imagine my first read was Berserk, man. I like... My first anime that I watched was Your Lie in April in, like parts on YouTube. Like, I think Your Lie in April basically just released. And it was uploaded into parts on YouTube, like, illegally. And that's how I got into anime, was watching Your Lie in April. And I didn't even think that Your Lie in April was that good, to be quite honest with you guys. But it still got me into anime enough to check out, you know, more animes. So it did the job well, you know, to get me into anime. So even if I don't consider it, like, anything, in my opinion, that special, but it still got me into anime. I wish I could have started with something like a Berserk, because I feel like that would have been way more of an impression. Also, I'm kind of glad I started something, you know, watching anime like Your Lie in April, because I feel like it set my expectations right in terms of what to expect watching anime. So, in some ways, I do appreciate that Your Lie in April was my first anime that I've ever watched. So. Yeah, that was back in like 2015 or so no problem. I hope my advice helps you out. Thank you very much for all the follows, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. It really helps me out as an indie creator. You guys just following me and supporting me. It just gets my work pushed out a bit more to everyone. Now, do I always ask the same stream question? Where is everyone from today? You guys from Europe? Are you from America or Africa? Like, where are you guys from? Because usually I find that on my live streams, I tend to get a lot of Europeans. Whilst on my videos, I tend to get just a lot of British people. On my algorithm, it just tends to go towards British people. But I always find my live streams get more aimed towards just Europeans in general. So I don't know if just more Europeans just watch lives here on TikTok compared to British people, so that's why it's pushed out to Europeans more, or I don't know, it's just TikTok working in weird and wild ways, which I think is probably the case. Oh, you're from the UK, nice. May I ask what gadget you're using? So I'm using a Cintiq 32, which is by Wacom, so I think it's pretty much the biggest tablet on the market. I do have an Express keypad, but I'm not using it at the moment, so I can like press undo here and redo here, but I don't really use it. I use my keyboard to redo and undo, so this kind of gadget is kind of useless to me. My first was Attack on Titan. I'm a light bloomer to anime. I kept seeing it advertised on YouTube. Yeah, because like I started watching anime in 2015. So it's been, oh my god, it's been 10 years, folks. It's been 10 years since I've been into anime. But Attack on Titan, like back in 2015, was like insanely huge still. Like, because you gotta remember, like Attack on Titan's first season released in 2013. So like by 2015 it was still massive, because you know the anime community at that point was still pretty small. I wouldn't say that it would have hit mainstream yet, though Attack on Titan was very much a mainstream show, and I would say like the first anime to really reach mainstream in a very long time. Like Attack on Titan was like the thing that kind of boosted anime into more mainstream popularity, but not quite, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I hate to be this person, but I think Yuri on Ice probably brought anime to mainstreamness in 2016. Like, I would say 2016 onwards is when, like, anime really got public. I think that's due to the part of, you know, Yuri on Ice going and releasing out. Because that's when I tend to see, like, a massive shift in terms of people who really got into anime during that time. So, like, 2016 was, like, the year I would say that anime kind of got mainstream. So... Oh yeah, so everyone's from the UK for the looks of things in this live stream. Okay, so it's re-algorithm, you know, the algorithm has gone back to the UK. I do like my European viewers though. I said I had a lot of European viewers last stream, which has been a while ago since the last stream. I think it must have been last month, at the end of last month I last live streamed, so... Right, I'm just going to quickly add a swoosh motion to Elowen here. Give me 1 second. So, let's go like that, and then let's put that underneath the lettering. So kind of just flicking our head there. Let's adjust that slightly. Okay, which panel should I draw now? I kind of want to draw this Elowen panel. So I know her eyes need a bit of readjusting on this. So, because my sketch really does not do her justice in this. So what's panel is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Panel 6. Let's make a new folder. JoJo Bizarre Adventure, best manga of all time in my opinion. I do love JoJo. I'm not up to date with the manga, but I do really enjoy JoJo. I'm still on part 5 at the moment for JoJo, and I really kind of just need to restart it and rewatch from the beginning part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But no, I really enjoyed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I really like part 2. But I also really enjoyed part 4. Part 4 was, I think, was probably my favourite part so far. But no, I do agree. I think JoJo's great. Weird but great, you know, and I don't mind weird in anime, to be fair. So I'm quite used to weird in anime. Been watching anime a lot for decades, and I still haven't heard of Yuri on Ice. Have you not? That's like one of the biggest anime that came out in 2016. It was very big when it came out. But yeah, he said in terms of my favorite anime, it's one that no one's ever heard of before. It came out in the 90s, but no one's ever heard of it before, and whenever I say it, people are like, huh? So I just don't tend to say that is my favorite anime usually, because people just don't know what it is. So that's why I usually default to saying D Grey Man, because more people know D Grey Man than my favorite anime. So there, I will say that Natsume's Book of Friends is a third place to me. I really like Natsume's Book of Friends. But not, I said I'm not a fan of the manga art style that much though. I find Natsume's Book of Friends in manga format quite difficult to read. But I think that's just because of the shoujo style paneling. It's just very hard for me to comprehend and read. But I do feel like Natsume's Book of Friends, story writing and character development is really good. It's just, for me, the artwork's very hard for me to read. So it is why I prefer the anime over the manga, really. Do that. Alright, and then let's get rid of these straight ends down here. What's your favorite anime? It's an anime called Kyo Kara Uewa. Or I think roughly that translates to From Today I Am, and it's a delinquent comedy action anime that came out in the 90s, and it kind of released over 6 years, I think. So I think it's got, if I remember correctly, it's got 10 OVA episodes. It might be 8, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's 10 OVA episodes, and they're about an hour long, and it released over 6 years. All of those OVA episodes, and it's really good. I really recommend it. But the only way you can watch it is by Sailing the Seven Seas. There's no official English translation for it, but I really do recommend it because I think it's fantastic. It's really funny, and I really love the characters in it. So, but yeah, I can probably bring up a screen. A grab of it. So Kyo Kara Uewa. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some people might recognize these characters, but they got some really iconic character designs, and I love them. It's they're great. I really like Takeshi as the main protagonist. He's great. But yeah, it's an OVA series that I really enjoy, and obviously it's my favorite anime. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people know Kyo Kara Uewa. So, but it's also got a TV drama which I believe is translated officially into English. So that's another way. So I think it's on Crunchyroll, the TV adaptation, but I haven't ever seen the TV adaptation, so I don't know the live action is any good or not. But the anime is fantastic. I do highly recommend it. At least it's my favorite anime, so I feel like that's high praise from someone who's watched over 350 animes. So I think Attack on Titan and New Gen Shonen made anime more mainstream. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I would say like Attack on Titan onwards, like, and especially like My Hero Academia that came out in 2016 as an anime, really made a big difference with making anime more mainstream and more accessible to more watchers as well. It's not seen as cringy, I don't think, anime anymore, which is a good thing. But like, I was the only person at school in secondary school who watched anime, and I got my friends into anime. I was the person who got my friends into anime in secondary school, so it was really not a thing in my secondary school to watch anime. So I didn't really bring it up in secondary school that much that I watched anime. But I found like one girl in like year 10 who watched anime, and it was life changing because like she's seen like a lot of stuff that I have seen, and we had a really good chat, and we were both in like art class together. It was great. But yeah, I got a lot of my male friends into anime. And I had like one male friend who was really into Seven Deadly Sins, and I'm like, oh, I didn't like Seven Deadly Sins, but I'm glad you enjoy it, mate. Back in secondary school, back in like 2016. But yeah, it's quite funny because it's like some shows that I did not enjoy really at all. Like some of my male friends in secondary absolutely adored. I'm like, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. Do you do furry commissions? I don't do furry commissions. I only do like humanoid commissions, unfortunately. I used to, back in the day, do furry commissions, but it's not the sort of art style I tend to draw in anymore. It was a very long time ago. Well, I've done one furry commission in the past, like, but we're talking like, I don't know, 7 years ago now. So it was a very long time ago when my art wasn't as good as it is now. So right, you're gonna let me draw a circle here. No, and then I know this eyelash needs to be a bit thicker up here compared to the sketch. Right, and then let's make this pupil just slightly bigger. Oh, we don't want it upside down, we want it that way, thank you. But yeah, my general commissions is kind of more on like a request basis. I'm not actively like taking commissions all the time at the moment. It's by like a project by project basis at the moment. Just because I am quite busy in life, so I only want to take on projects that I feel like I'm quite passionate about, so. Right, and then bring that way. Right, and then the back of her hair. Right, and then we'll make that darker in screen tone in a bit. Let's bring it that way. But yeah, I said I don't know if you guys have seen my art before here on the live stream, but I can quickly show you some of my older pages. If you wait a second for my 3D preview to pop up, I'll show you some of my actual art once it's done. And that was the last page I did. And these are some previous pages with Fletcher, the other character that Larkin has not bumped into for a while now. But he's got his own fight going on in the background here, so. Right, back to Ella when drawing time. Right, and then go this direction. You know, I was asked if I could live stream today on my Discord, but yeah, I do not see any sign of Dylan yet, even though he was the one who asked me if I could live stream today. I'm sure he'll appear at some point. But yeah, he asked me on Discord today if I would live stream, and I was like, sure. If I get like the sketch done for page 7, sure, I'll live stream today. But yeah, no sign of him yet, unless he's hiding and watching at the moment. But I don't think he is. I did ping him on Discord to say that I'm live streaming, so. Thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate any of you guys' support. Following me really helps me out, and I'm really trying to get 1,000 followers at the moment, because that means I can actually link my manga in my bio properly, because I can't do that at the moment. I have to get 1,000 followers in order to do that. Alright, so it's been, for over a year, it's been a goal to get to 1,000 followers, so I can link my stuff properly. Because I've been really unable to do that, and I would like the comments to stop asking me. It's like, why is your link in your bio not working? Well, it's because it's not a clickable link. So I hope that I can finally become a clickable link. That's what I'd like to happen. Right, how am I gonna do this? Should I do the background now for this? It needs to be like an ominous background, so how are we gonna do this? Let's have a look. Background effects. There's a lot of ways I can go around doing this. I've got so much stuff in my folders over here, it's kind of ridiculous. I feel like this one would be too dramatic. That's too dramatic for what Alan saying here. Because she should be kind of calm about it. That should be the point of it. And then that is 50. And then if we let's tap that. Alright, and then if we go and slightly erase around her, so she's got a bit of halo around her. And then I might make this background slightly darker. I'll see if I can do that as well. I'm just going to quickly just keep making a halo effect around her. Right. And then let's do tonal adjustments. Oh, can I not do it because it's an image file? 1 second. Let's turn that off. Let's merge that down. Let me adjust that downwards. Is it not getting darker? Why is it not getting darker? It should get darker. It's on colour. Why are you not liking me, Clip Studio? Why is it not working? Oh, unless I can just do that, I guess. I just want it a slightly darker colour, that's all. Like, I think that contrast would be better. Okay, and then if I make this grayscale, put on tone, put the layer mask back on. Okay, there we go. Right, and then the screen tone for that can follow through later. Let's not try and disappear everything. Right, and then if we go back here, let's select all this off again. And go like that. Right, and then should we work on just locking over here? Alright, I know he's got a massive speed line here, so maybe if I do the speed line first, I think that would be a good idea, because then I can follow everything through then. So this would be P5. Right, and then let's get the heat pattern 2 out. Speed line. Okay, this is not a very long motion line. Okay, let me find a longer motion line if I can. Okay, it's probably going to be something like that. Oi! Needs to be a pretty, because he's basically, because Element in this scene, I don't know if I can bring up this page as reference, because she's grabbed his wrist in this one, so, and it's just wrist over his left hand, so it needs to be pulled back as they're walking, which is grabbed here at the moment. So I'm just trying to think, because her hand would probably be here, so I presume it needs to kind of go more this direction. Or it might be better to like that way even as a motion line. I think it might be better to go in this direction. As a motion line. Now I'm thinking about it, that's a better pulling away motion line if I do it that way. So I might stick with that. And then I'll draw everything else on top of that. Oh, hello Discord message. I will read you later. Right, and then let's get rid of that. Right, and then I can draw around that now, so. And then actually, if I erase this part slightly, because I don't want to go all the way through the hands, that mission line, and then we'll draw everything else around it. Right, and then let's put, oh, there we go. Right, if we go this direction, up here, that way, this way. Right, and then that goes down there. Hand drawing time. Go that way, up this way. Right, and then bones in the hands goes that way, down there. And do I draw his fingernails? When it's this small, like when I have to zoom into this canvas, this small, I don't think I need to draw his fingernails really, even though I usually do draw fingernails. But I feel like it would just clutter this part of the hand too much when it's just small. I will see when we get further out, I think. Right, and then speed lines. Let's think about it. So if I create a special ruler, parallel line, let's follow, that's not what I want. I want a parallel curve. So if we follow the middle part of this line through and go this way. I don't know if you guys can see this purple line, but that's the line I've drawn. And then everything should follow that curve then. So we want this arm to follow that line, that action line. This is me teaching you guys how I do speed lines. So if you drag it this way, because then everything is in line with this curve, you see, so. Right, and then my desk is shaking while I'm doing this. Right, and then let's follow that. Right, I only want it on this like sort of edge. Only the parts that, because the furthest away from the motion line I will draw like a straight line for. So, right, and I think that would do it. And then if we draw in the rest of the detail, so if we drag that up there, that's gonna be, I feel like his palm would actually come down further down there with this, and then there is the end of his cuff down there. It goes down that way. Same with his shoulder, comes down that way. Bit of fabric that way. Yeah, so what else can I add? Because really there should be another curve down there, so I might just add another small mission line down there. Going that way. Like that. Yeah. Okay, and then maybe one going that direction too. This is just a comic, not a manga. I don't really care what you call it. It doesn't really bother me if you call it a comic or a manga. Like, in the end of the day, it's a piece of stuff for death. Call it what you want. I have like a whole video talking about original English language manga. If you're curious on the topic, but I don't care what you call it. Like people call it, an array of things. Sometimes I call it a comic, so. What is this bag doing? Let's follow the straps and go from there. Because this bag, I think, might be slightly in the wrong perspective here. Because this bag is being swung. It should actually be swung like this direction. I feel like, rather than how I've drawn it. I think it's supposed to be swung this direction down there. And then you draw the shape down here. Kind of like that. Bring it down that way. And then obviously it'll get kind of blocked by the motion lines here. Right, and then I actually need his bag reference. Give me 1 second. Right, so, and then it drops down there a bit. And then it goes down that direction. Right, and then get a line down there. Dun 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 dun. Right, and then go down there. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome back to the stream, John. How are you doing? Right. Today I'm working on page 7 of the Future Stuff and Death, chapter 11. I can't believe we're on chapter 11. Recently just celebrated the 2nd year anniversary of my little comic, so I can't believe 2 years have just flown by. Like, I can't believe I've been working on this comic for 2 years now. That is insane. Right, and then that brings down there. Yeah, I know. I think I see. I don't know what people tend to see. I presume you guys can see that the title says that I'm working on chapter 11, page 7, but I'm not entirely sure because, again, I personally don't watch like lives myself, so I don't really know what to expect really when people click on it. But hopefully it's like all legible. I don't know if you guys can click on like my bio, like in terms of like not like my actual bio on my profile, but like there should be like a little about me section on this live stream, and I don't know if that's enough information for you all. Like, I didn't really know how much information to really write in that. Like, should I keep it short? Should I make it longer? Like, I don't actually know how much people want to know about me, really, so. But I feel like it's quite a feat in itself if people actually wanted to check that information out, really, but, Right, and then go this direction up here. Bro, where is... Man. Dylan's still not here yet. Oh, let me see, because I've seen a message in my Discord. Oh, actually, Dylan put W on my Discord, and I don't think he's here yet. Even though I did a live stream for him. Right, let me do that. I got a new book and it's called The Animated Survival Kit. Have you heard of it? Yes. That's like one of the go-to like study books for animation, isn't it? And that's like the book to have for animation, correct? So I should really get it. I feel like even despite me drawing like comics, I feel like having that and reading it would be quite useful for me as a comic artist. Just because I feel like it'd probably go into like drawing motion and how best to depict it quite well in it. So I think it might be worth me actually picking up that book at some point. But yeah, it's just not been like on my priority buying list in terms of books. But it should really be on there, so I feel like it would have some helpful stuff with creating comics in it, even though it's more for animation. Because it's got like that iconic, like on the front of like that animation book, like all the different sort of like characters and different art styles walking on the front of it, doesn't it? So I believe it's that book anyway, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's the animated Bible. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. It's iconic, isn't it? It's got like one of the most iconic covers I think any like tutorial book has. Like I don't think there's a tutorial book that probably has as an kind of iconic cover than like that animation book. So I don't mean to do that. Bring me back. I hate when I accidentally select the up and down bar and the scrolly bars. Not my intention. Right, and bring it down this way. Right, and then his trousers. Right, and that folds down that way, down here. But yeah, you have to let me know if the book's any good or not. So, because again, like I'd be quite interested in buying it. If you feel like that there might be any good tips for like comic creating in there. Like again, I know it's for animation, but if there's anything that I think you think might be useful for creating like comics even, like please do let me know, because I presume it probably goes into like storyboarding and stuff in it. And I would think that would apply to storyboarding also applies to comics, so if there's some like useful like storyboarding stuff in it, it'd be useful to know if it's worth picking up for that reason. Because I have animated before, but my animations are really not that good, and it's more just for the fun of it rather than I'm trying to make a masterpiece. So right, and then I'll draw Larkin's face now. No, yeah, it's really good. Anything involving movement, yeah, okay, brilliant. Okay, well, I'll definitely have a look out for it then. Maybe if I can get a second-hand copy, because I don't know actually how expensive it is. Is it that expensive? I don't know. I can't remember if it's expensive or not, because some art tutorial books can be really expensive, so, but I can't remember if that one is or not, so, because I did look it up ages ago to buy, so. I can go down there. Larkin's hair strands, ear. Oh my word. Larkin's hair's being a pain today, and usually it's not that much of a pain to draw Larkin's hair. Right, and that curves that way. He was going that way. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty proportional on both sides. Alright, and then his ponytail goes that way. What software am I using? I'm using something called Clip Studio Paint, the Expert Edition, so EX Edition. So it's more expensive version of Clip Studio Paint I'm using currently. It's really good if you want to make comics. This is like the program to get if you want to get into drawing comics. I highly recommend trying it. You get a free trial on your computer with Clip Studio Paint, so if you just want to try it out, again, you can get a free trial for it. So I got mine for £4 with Vinted. Okay, I'll keep an eye out on Vinted then. I'm sure I could find a pretty good one that'll come up in the listing then. That £4 is really good actually. So I'll add that to like my search history on Vinted so I can see when new listings are put up on there. So right, and then lock his nose. And eyes. Right, and that goes down that way. Eyelash up. Right. Well, yeah, I don't know if you guys know, and I don't know if you know this, John, or if you want to join. I do have a Discord server, so like anyone who it's like artists themselves or comic artists themselves or fans of my work or fans of my comic, you can just join the Discord, and it's a really small chill community, and I kind of just encourage people to post their own artworks, talk about their own projects. For me, like the main focus of the Discord server isn't just about the feature stuff and death. It is just bringing people together who want to tell stories, or just talk about stories, so it's a very chill community if you ever just wanted to join our Discord server. I think we've got 17 members now. Like it's a pretty small but fairly active group of people now on Discord. So it's a very sweet environment on there at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of like wannabe like mangaka, comic creators, people who just do illustrations. There's a good variety of people on there. No problem. I hope you can try Clip Studio Paint and hopefully you like it. So love the drawing. How do you hold your phone up? I've got it in a tripod at the moment. I don't know. Let me release it from the tripod. Tripod. That's the tripod I have at the moment. And my fan is off today. You guys can see you don't have the buzzing in your ears today. But there you go. That's what it looks like. That's my tripod. It's a very cheap tripod I got from Amazon. I'm sure I can get like a better one, because I think if I could get a proper one from a desk, I think I could probably show my screen off better. But at the current point, I don't have that. There you go. No problem. Yeah, it's just off of Amazon. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's just a cheapy one off of Amazon to hold up my phone. Nothing too fancy. Then again, I don't want to spend like my entire budget on a tripod for my phone, so it does the job just fine, so. Alright, and then I feel like there's too many shadows under Larkin's neck here. I think we could just reduce those to down, those ones, and then put like a little line down there. Right, and then that's done. We sorted that action line as well, because I was going the wrong direction. Right, and then we've got 2 more panels to do line out for, and then we're just on screen tones. This is like, I feel like this is the quickest page I've ever completed on live stream. I don't think I've even been live streaming for an hour yet, guys, and we're almost done with the line out. That's kind of insane by my standards on live streams. Do you have any tips on keeping your art style consistent? Not really. To be fair, like, my art style is kind of all over the place at the beginning of my manga, I feel like. It's just something like, the more you draw your characters, the more often you draw them, like, the more consistent your characters get. It is just, like, repetitive drawing. Your characters will get more consistent over time as you draw them more. Like, I can draw Larkin and Fletcher pretty consistently now. But I think they looked a bit a bit more inconsistent during like the first, I'd say like 4 chapters of the Feast of Stuff and Death. But I think because of the effect of drawing them so many times, it also plays off on any other characters I draw in the future. So I feel like all the rest of my characters now are drawn more consistently because of that practice. You know what I mean? So, right. So Larkin's hair. It comes up here. So that means this strand goes down from here and that way. Alright, and then that goes down there. Alright, and let's get rid of that small line down there, even though no one's going to ever notice it, even in print, but I do notice it now. I'll bring that down there. Bring that down there. Or strands down there. Right, and go down there. Right. I feel like there's a lot of people on TikTok today, but I guess it is getting to people finishing school now, isn't it? So I think we've got a lot more minors probably watching the live stream now instead of adults. So hello, if you're new here, welcome to the live stream. You can't find the Discord link. If you go to my, if you click onto my profile, on my bio, it says like a lit link. I don't know if I can get it up. Let me see if I can get it up on this screen. If you go to my TikTok, if you go to my TikTok page, you see this lit link here. If you copy that link, paste it. If it wants to load, that'd be good. Oh, 1 second. I just accidentally added a bracket to it. It should bring up this little like link tree, as you will. If you scroll down, the Discord server is right here, and you can just press on it, and then it should let you on. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I'm trying to reach 1,000 followers, so I can just have that lit link directly on my TikTok page instead of just having the link like this at the moment. So, right, and then I'll close that because we do not need my live stream running in the background here. Right. Right, we go this direction. What make is your artboard and where did you get it? So this is my Cintiq 32 and it's by Wacom. I got it second hand, so I bought it from someone second hand on eBay. I'd recommend looking on eBay for something like this, or if you live in the UK, CEX would be a good alternative because they tend to have like Wacom tablets second hand on their website all the time. It's just keep an eye on CEX. You know, because they'll have the tablets by Wacom popping up every so often on there. So and usually it's for a fairly good price, honestly, for a Wacom tablet. So I would just keep an eye on that. But you know, for Wacom, you're obviously spending quite a bit of money for Wacom tablets. So bear that in mind. But yeah, I got mine second hand for a good price. So like my 28, I think I got from CEX, and I think I paid £600 for it. It's a really good price for the 28. Great, thank you, no problem. He said, I'm happy to help. You just learn where like the best prices for these things are in the UK when you're looking for tablets on the regular. So, but yeah, CEX is my recommendation for tablets. Second hand, if not eBay, because eBay you can get some really good prices on eBay sometimes. Like I won this 32 on an auction for £1,400, but it came with the express keypad, it came with the keyboard, it came with 2 computer engines for the 32. So in total, like what I bought for 1,400 was more like £6,000. So it was a pretty good deal, to be fair, folks. So it was worth every £1 spent on it, honestly. I would not replace this for the world. I will always love my 32 as long as it lasts, you know, and I would buy another 32 if this ever broke. So, but not everyone likes giant tablets, you know, so it really depends on the person if you like giant tablets or not. Some people just prefer them smaller. Some people just don't like a tablet with a screen whatsoever. But yeah, instead, you know, it varies from person to person. But I know people are like, they see a big tablet and be like, oh, I really want that. Which I totally get, because like having a big tablet is like, I think a lot of people's dreams. So especially if you're an artist. So no, it's always funny to me like how many people are like fascinated that I have this. But no, I said it's worth every penny, honestly, spent on it. So I get the fascination with it because I am very much in love with this tablet. So and I confirm. It is. His vest does go pretty high. I feel like it could be slightly lower down though, because I feel like it is just slightly high. That's all. So let's bring this slightly lower down. Right, and bring it down this way. Bring it up here. I'm using a touchscreen I can never say this computer brand. It's like Lenovo Flex 5 at the moment. I'm looking at upgrade. Yeah, it said I started out drawing art on an iPad with just my finger. So like, you know, if you want a proper pen and you do traditional quite a lot as well, like I think like the transition to digital is not as daunting. And to be honest, if you're working on that sort of laptop already, I feel like the transition to a screen tablet would be way easier for you compared to other people. I don't think it would feel too dissimilar as an experience. You just get, you know, a proper setup, as you will. But yeah, I will always recommend Wacom, but obviously they're the most prestigious. I can't say it. Sorry, my speech and language disorder is coming in full force right now. Prestigious. Yeah, that Wacom's the most prestigious. I can't say it. Basically, the most high quality like brands for screen tablets out there. So obviously there's cheaper companies out there if you want something big but a lot cheaper. But I find like other tablet products are a bit more flimsy, so just bear that in mind. And I apologize for my Discord messages popping in the background. It's just my Manga group talking at the moment, so I will eventually read their messages and reply back to them. So, but they are gonna have a conversation without me, which is fine. For people who don't know what Manga is, it's like a group of like independent manga creators from all over the world. So there's like 2 members of Manga who are published with Viz Media. So they're part of the one-shot program on Viz Media. So I know quite a few manga artists, as you will, on the indie scene. So that's the group chat at the moment. I've started out using Medibank software. I use Critter and Inkscape. What's your recommendation? I use Clip Studio Paint. This is my baby, and it's worth every bit of money I spent on this program. Even though I think I paid like, I don't know what the cost of Clip Studio Paint EX is at the moment as a base price, but I would say it's probably close to £100, right? I would think. But I mean, it's so worth it for comic productions. Like if you're really serious about producing comics, and you really want to like create like a webtoon, a webcomic, a manga, a comic, whatever you want, like I honestly would consider paying the £100 for the professional part of the software. I would not be able to live without it anymore. I have tried Critter in the past and it's absolutely fine. I just don't think it's very suitable for comic production, that's all. I will always say that Clip Studio Paint is the best program for comic production. I've heard very good things about Clip Studio Sci. Not Clip Studio Sci, just Paint Sci. Paint Sci is apparently very good for illustrations, but you don't get like all the technical stuff that you get in Clip Studio Paint. You know what I mean? Like, if you want a more like simple layout, like Clip Studio Sci, it seems better for illustrations in that regard. So, And apparently like, the brushes are amazing on Clip Studio side. But again, I've never tried Clip Studio side, so I don't know what it's like. I keep saying Clip Studio side. It's not Clip Studio side. It's just Side Paint or Paint Side. Sorry. I don't know why I keep saying Clip Studio side. That's not the name of it. Is this one payment or subscription? Either or. So you can either pay for a one-time purchase of a license on Clip Studio Paint, or you pay a subscription model, which gives you like the latest version all the time of Clip Studio Paint. It's really up to you. If you prefer just having something permanently, then you know that's an option that's available to you on Clip Studio Paint. On Paint Side, Side Paint, I don't know which way it is. It's just a one-time purchase on Side Paint, and it's made by like one guy. So you would be supporting someone who's independent if you get Paint Side Paint. I don't know which way around it is. You can tell that I don't use it, so. But yeah, you with that program you'd be supporting someone who's a one-man team, as you will. So, but Clip Studio Paint is by Kelsey, which is like a Japanese company. So it used to be called Manga Studio back in the day, I think. Clip Studio Paint was called. So it is more designed for making manga more than anything else. Right, and let's draw the background. Oh, you joined the Discord? Brilliant. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Let me make you a member real quick. Oh yeah, I see you. Feel free to add a role. If you want a coloured name. For if you'd like to. I'll just quickly add you to member. There you go. Welcome to the Discord server. What device do you use? I use a Cintiq 32. It's by Wacom. It's pretty much the biggest tablet on the market. I don't think there's a company that's done a bigger tablet than 32 inch. I think Wacom still holds the title to that. At least in like this sort of quality of drawing tablet at 32 inches. So, right, and there's a standing wall here. I mean, I could be mistaken. There could be like a bigger tablet than the 32 now, but I don't think I'd want to go any bigger than this. I'll be honest. This is big enough for me. I thought my 28 was big. I much prefer the 32, but I don't think I could go any bigger than the 32. You know, so like this is just the right size for me. I wouldn't want any bigger than this. Right, and that goes down there. Do we draw a fake door down here? Let's draw a fake door down here. Why not? Sometimes you just need to add a door, you know, so just to jazz up the background a bit more. Right, and that's that part. Right, and then you've got the ceiling here. Right, and then you've got this part up here too. Floorboards. Alright, let's do that. Jeez, that's so cool. How much was it? I paid $1,400 for everything that comes with the Wacom 32. So it comes with, I explained this like maybe 20 minutes ago. It comes with the Express keypad. I cannot speak today. The Wacom keyboards. And then it also comes with the 2 computers. Which comes with the Cintiq 32 that hardly sold any units with the computers in. But I got both of the computers for this, which is, I think, I don't think a lot of people have the 2 computers for the Wacom 32. But I do have the 2 computers for it. So I basically paid for a computer as well. So basically in total, like what I bought for $1,400 was more like £6,000. So I got it for a very good deal. So, but it's worth every penny, in my opinion. Right, and then let's bring that this way. Bring this way. Go this way. Oh, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Come on now. Alright, and then move that one, that one, that one. Let's get rid of this line here. Oh, we want to get rid of that one, that one. That one, that one, that one. Right. That would do. Okay, that's the floorboards. You're definitely putting it to some good use. Your art's really cool. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like my art. I've had this tablet for like 2 years now, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else in the world. I love this thing. It's my favourite thing in the world. That's really good money you paid and what you received. Yeah, I got it. Essentially, the guy who I bought it from on eBay was like an ex-salesman for Wacom. And then Wacom just never asked for these Cintiqs back. So he didn't really want like 10 tablets lying around in his house for obvious reasons, because like a 32 is massive, man, to keep in your house, especially if you're not someone who uses one. But yeah, they said Wacom never asked for it back. They were like, just keep it, and they were like, oh, okay. And then obviously they just sold it on eBay, and I won it in an auction because no one bid it higher than I did, and I received this. So I got very lucky, is what I will say. The guy was super nice though. It was really interesting to hear his experience as a Wacom salesman. So he used to go and like to all the universities and private businesses, art studios and stuff, and pitched them to sell Wacom tablets to those sort of companies. So it was really interesting hearing his life story as such. So selling Wacom tablets. Do you have to connect the pen to the computer, or does it come with it? And where did you get it? Like I said, I got it off of eBay, the specific one, but you can also get like Wacom tablets from like CEX for a really good price. So I'll check out CEX to see if there's like a tablet size that is a good price for you. If you want Wacom, I highly recommend just checking CEX every so often, because again, like sometimes the tablet will just randomly pop up because someone's gave that tablet into CEX and get it for a really good price. But yes, it does come with a pen. It should come with a pen. It'd be very unusual if a Wacom device didn't come with a pen. But yeah, it definitely comes with a pen if you just buy the tablet. So yeah, no, the guy was super nice who I met. I travelled all the way to Kent. So to bear in mind, folks, I live in Wiltshire. So I had to drive all the way to Kent to meet this guy. So I had to drive like over 2 hours to see him. So, or 3 hours. I think it's more like 3 hours to see him. So it was a journey, but it was so worth it. It was so worth it for this. So because obviously you can't really get this thing shipped. You have to go and pick it up, right? So I mean, you could try and ship it, but I mean, I wouldn't recommend shipping it. So I'd rather just pick up in person and know it's safe. So this stuff it can be quite fragile. So right, and then let's do this middle panel. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this panel 4? Panel 4. Panel 4. What's the difference between a comic and a manga? However you want to define it as. Honestly, I mean, they both mean the same thing, but again, I think in the traditional sense, like manga is like a loan word here in English, because obviously manga in Japan just means comics, but manga here in English is more of a loan word, and it is usually to describe a certain style and format. So in terms of certain style, it's like obviously kind of like a manga anime style, like big eyes, pretty human proportions, but obviously a bit more exaggerated. And then the format is like the presentation. So like screen tones, black and white, certain sound effects, how speech bubbles are laid out. There's in terms of like presentation, I think that's like the main thing of what constitutes manga here in the West. I made like a whole video on like original English language manga, which I dive into this topic a bit more. If you're interested in more like the backstory of manga here in the West. Because like people have been making manga here in the West since the 80s. It's been a long time this has been being made, and you know, my friend Queenie-chan was someone who created the manga series called The Dreaming back in the mid 2000s with Tokyo Pop, and that was like one of the first official like original English language manga to kind of ever arrive on the scene. So you know, I know the history behind it quite a bit. But yeah, I made an entire video on it. But I wouldn't get too bogged down with, you know, what's the differences between a manga and a comic, because the thing is like, manga has always been heavily influenced by Disney. So, like, Disney was the original inspiration in terms of the stylizations you see in manga today. So it all comes around anyway, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't get too caught up in the terms, you know what I mean? So, because Osamu Tezuka was inspired by Disney products, you know? Specifically, like, the Donald Duck comics he was inspired by, and you can see that, you know? So I wouldn't... You know, I don't think it really matters what you call it in the end of the day. Mental, I live near Birmingham. Kent is so far, yeah. Kent is really far, honestly. When you live on, like, the west side of England, like, Kent seems so far away. But no, you are way more north than where I am, so... Do you ever make long form content? Sometimes on my TikTok page I do. Sometimes I do like really long videos on my TikTok page. Like I do like art tips, writing tips sometimes. I'd like to start YouTube, but I don't think I'd be a very good YouTuber. I know, I always say this, but I don't feel like I'm a great like content creator. Like I am just a storyteller at heart in terms of like, I like making comics, and you know, I don't get why I need to post, you know, online to get attraction to my comic, but that's just how it is these days. But I don't know, I like to try and start YouTube. I mean, I upload all of my video archives of, you know, these live streams onto my YouTube. I do have a few videos on my YouTube on like how I screen tone my manga, and I show you all like my file formats and stuff like that. But that was like a year ago now I made that video. I don't know, would people be interested in seeing longer form content from me? Because if so, then maybe I'll consider starting a YouTube or something, you know, so... But yeah, I don't know. Because again, YouTube's a big commitment to make, and, you know, I only have a limited amount of time, really, to produce, you know, my comic, and, you know, also have my job on the side, and doing script writing for a webtoon project at the moment. You know, there's a lot of things going on in my life, so... At least with live streaming, it can tie in with me drawing my manga, you know what I mean? So... Hello, welcome to the live stream. What is your YouTube called? It's just called Melody LED. It's under my, like... As what I used to go by. Before I went by my name here on TikTok, my YouTube and, like, my online name was always Melody LED. So you can find me on there. Let me get it up. YouTube. Here you go. This is my channel. Also, if you ever played Anime Music Quiz and you ever had like the background script for Anime Music Quiz, I made that. I made that script. So that's literally the only thing I'm kind of known for, apart from like drawing manga, is making the Anime Music Quiz background scripts. So yeah, you see my video archives here. I got like ink and toner manga page with me, screen toner manga page. So this one I go through like all my file formats, and you can see how I laid out my manga pages, and I kind of explain what I do for each layer. And then this one's more of a speed paint, but you can see like the actual interface of this one compared to like how I present it on like TikTok, which is usually just a speed paint from the time-lapse feature. So this is actually me in real time, kind of like, well, not in real time, but you know what I mean, like you can see the interface and everything and how I'm drawing. You know, there's some random stuff on my YouTube channel. So I'm hoping to make a comic soon. Yes, please do. Honestly, like, I think, you know, if you've got a story to tell, honestly, just tell it. Like, doesn't matter where your art is, you know, if you've got a story to tell, just tell it. Because otherwise, that story's never going to get told, is it? So, you know, just have fun with it, you know. don't hold yourself to such high expectations, especially if it's your first comic, you know. It says just enjoy the journey, because you'll learn so much by drawing a comic. Like, I've learned to draw things that I never thought I'd learn how to draw, so like your art skill will just go through the roof if you draw comics, because you're just forced to draw things you usually wouldn't draw, you know. So it really pushes your art skills, and it really improves your art skills as well. Right, and the other eye. Just subscribe, thank you. I mean, I hardly post on my YouTube, but I do hope you enjoy it. But yeah, there's some I think there'd be some neat videos on there for people who want to learn to draw comics, specifically manga, on my YouTube channel. Even though they're a bit shabby, you know, so they're not, you know, usually I just kind of create content for myself on my YouTube channel. I don't really make like a professional production, you know what I mean? So it's more like I use my YouTube channel to archive things more than anything else. So like sometimes I make more dedicated videos on there for people, because again, like that, how I screen tone a manga page and showing my layers and stuff was, you know, someone on YouTube asked me if I could make a video about it, so that's why I made a video about it. So right, let's continue drawing Larkin. It doesn't help to have the back of his vest as his reference up here. Alright, there we go. Right, so let's remember his bag strap. That would be always good. Put that down there. Do it that way. And go this way. This way, and then drag this all the way up. But yeah, I think like the last like proper YouTube video I did was for chapter 7, and that was over a year ago now, I feel like. So it's been a while since I've done an actual proper YouTube video really, so but I mean, like, if there's certain stuff you guys want to see, then maybe I can make a YouTube video on it if you want longer form content. But like, I just don't know in terms of longer form what would do well on YouTube, so. But yeah, I mean, again, like, if you're on the Discord server, just feel free just to drop some ideas on the Discord server, and I'll see what I can do, so. Because, like, my friend, Art Crumbs has a YouTube channel, and they're published with Viz Media. They're one shot with Viz Media, and they've got a YouTube channel that has, like, some really useful, like, manga advice. So if you want to like learn actual manga, like professional like manga tips, like I'd recommend Art Crumb's channel. They've got some really nice videos, especially on like storytelling, and specifically on how you know what a lot of Japanese manga creators does in terms of storytelling and how they tell a story, as well as paneling advice. You know, so there's a lot of good advice on their channel if you're interested in making comics. Specifically in the manga style. They've got some really nice videos on their channel that I recommend. Whoa, this looks cool. Thank you. I'm glad you like my work. You're seeing just the line art at the moment. Eventually I'll get onto screen tones here. It's just the last panel I'm working on inking at the moment. So once this is done, we'll work on the screen tones, which I know people always say, like, it's the most fun watching you screen tone. Which I get, because I feel like the entire piece does come together then, like the entire page. Because I always feel like my line art looks a bit cluttered until I put the screen tones in, you know? So, it makes it really bold once I put the screen tones in, so. Right. And then Elwyn. Elwyn's such a cool character to draw, honestly. Like, I think that's the reason why I draw her with short hair, is because I only have one other character in the Future Stuff and Death who is a woman who has short hair, and she's called Fleur, and she's hardly appeared in the manga so far. Like, she's a villain, so, you know, we don't see her that often, and she has short hair, but, like, for me, I was like, I really want to draw a girl with short hair more, so that's why I created Ellen with short hair. It's way easier to draw short hair too, so I feel like that's, like, my top tip is just draw characters with short hair. You'll save yourself so much time and energy if you draw characters with short hair. Managed to get Cure Carrot Uewa. It's pretty good. Also, inadvertently downloaded Cure Carrot Mahama. Yeah, I know the other one you're talking about. That's it's like a fantasy BL, and I think I don't know if people know this, but that series specifically is like, I think, if I'm correct, basically he's transported to another world because I think he fell down a toilet or he flushed a toilet and he's sent to another world, and then he inadvertently like marries like the prince in this other world. So it's kind of also like a BL at the same time too. But apparently it's really good from what I've heard. But it's like 72 episodes long or something. It's really long. Yeah. I was right. Yeah. I know. I watched like 6 episodes of it. I never finished it. I don't know why I never finished it. I should finish it. But yeah, Cure Carrot Uewa is something I really recommend. But yeah, I hope you have fun with it when you do watch it. As I said, it's really funny, and again, I think it helps that the episodes are like an hour long. I think it really does benefit the anime. I wish more anime were like hour long episodes, because I feel like, maybe they cover, they cover a lot more of the story, and I feel like it just the pacing in general is just so much better compared to most animes. So. What tablet are you using? I'm using a Cintiq 32, which is by Wacom, and I believe it is the biggest tablet on the market. But I love this thing. This is my favourite ever tablet I've ever had, and I do not regret buying it. I love this thing. It's my favourite thing that I own. Apart from... Oh, have you guys seen my new figure that came in this week? If you've been on my social media, specifically... If you follow me on not TikTok, you've probably seen this. Let me get it. Let me see if I can not mark it there. Right. Here you go. Look, this is my Kaito Kid and Conan figure. I received it last week and I'm so in love with it. Look at Conan. He's so cute. But yeah, I said I received this. I've been waiting for this for like months. But it's finally came and it's so beautiful. It's my biggest figure in my collection now, and I really want to get more big figures like this. But this was quite expensive to buy, but I mean it's so worth it, because people don't know, like Kaito Kuroba is like my second favourite character ever. He would be my number 1 if he wasn't a pervert, but he is one of my favourite characters. That looks so cool. Yeah, it's a really awesome figure. I'm so happy that I do own it. So it was very much worth the purchase. Yeah, I got the iPad Pro as big art iPad. Oh yeah, I've got an iPad here, so I can compare my iPad to my screen. You ready? This is my iPad. Right, it's not the biggest iPad ever, but it is my iPad. So if we close that is my iPad compared to this tablet. I feel like this is a good comparison's sake. Right, so this is the size of my iPad to my tablet. That's kind of a crazy comparison. That's how big my screen tablet is. Yeah, it's giant. It is a giant screen tablet. I think that puts the 32-inch into perspective here, so... yeah, it's a giant beast of a tablet. That's a whole TV. What model is that? It's a Wacom Cintiq 32. It's the 32-inch edition of it. And then over here, I think I can show you guys. That's my 28 over there, okay? And that looks a lot smaller than my 32, even though that's a 28, so... Alright, let me see if I can readjust the camera. There we go. I think you guys can see everything again. Yeah, I do have like the 2 big tablets, I guess, that I do own, so... But unfortunately my 28 has a crack in it, and I really need to figure out if there's a way that I can fix it. But I have not found a way to fix it yet. But I do have a crack in my 28, so that's why I'm not using it. But the 28's a really good size. If you want a large tablet, like a 28, also very good. So I recommend a 28 too. I've had the 13 before. The 13's nice. I just found the 13 a bit too small for me. But like, if you don't mind smaller tablets, like a 13's more than serviceable. I've tried a 22 Pro back at university, and a 22 is a really nice size. You know, if you want like a good big tablet but not massive, a 22 is a very good size. What's the price on the thing that you're drawing on? Well, it depends, because I got mine second hand. So I got this for £1,400, but it came with the Express keypad, the Wacom keyboard, the 2 computers, so that adds up to about £6,000 in total for everything. But again, I bought this for £1,400. Yeah, you just try your luck in the second hand market is what I'd recommend, honestly. Because again, I just got all the fancy stuff with this for a really good price. So, but yeah, you can find stuff for a bit cheaper, I feel like. But yeah. You're probably looking about £1,500 probably for the 32 at least, if not £2,000. But yeah, again, I just got it for a really good price on eBay. So, like my experience, I feel like it's very abnormal, you know. So, but if not, double check like CEX. This is what I've been saying to people today. Is if you check CEX here in the UK. They sell Wacom tablets on their website. So obviously when people hand them in, then they sell them. You can usually find like a really good second-hand one for a pretty good price on CEX if you've got the money to spend on it. So, yeah. What brush do I use? So my line art brush. I don't feel like a lot of people know this brush, but it's called the He 2 pen. And then I use the He pen, like just the He pen. For like when I'm doing like these straight lines and stuff, because the He Pen 2 doesn't snap to my rulers, but the He Pen 1 will snap to my rulers. But yeah, He Pen 2 is what I use. Let me see if we can bring it up. He Pen 2. Oh, it's going to be He Pen, I guess. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this is it. So it's got 18,000 downloads. It's not like the most popular pen on it, so that's what I use. Is the He Pen. He Pen 2. So, what software is that? I use Clip Studio Paint EX. It's a more expensive version of Clip Studio Paint. But I highly recommend it if you want to get into comics and drawing comics, to get the EX version. It comes with all the fancy tools for comic production. I highly recommend it. I don't think there's a program that's better than Clip Studio Paint for comics, honestly. So I do highly recommend it. I said let's put the white background behind them. Oh, I completely messed up on that shoulder. 1 second, let me fix this up. Put that on. It's like oh, why are you not doing the face filling in? Ooh, right. Let's try again. Attempt number 2. Or number 3 now. There you go. Right, and let's do the background now. Right, background. Right, so there is like a open back here. So let's draw on that. So that goes like that. Okay, there's like stairs going down here. So it probably starts there and then it kind of goes down the stairs down there, and then another step, and then blah 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 blah. It just gets darker as you go down. And then it kind of slopes down that staircase down there. So it goes like down that way. Probably. Something like that. Or we can draw just a line going down that way and then draw the rest of that line going up to the ceiling. Actually, I think I just like it as just one single line. I might just draw it as one single line. Because it goes down that way. All the way down that way. And then it's kind of like... Actually, where is he running up the steps? I should get some reference for this. It's on another page. It's on this page. Oh yeah, there is boards down there. Let me draw those in. Alright, if we go down that way, and then these would go closer together as we can go further back. Right, and then there's be another one down there. Right, and then if we draw a slight border around this hallway door, go like that, down there again. Right, and then if we draw these, and don't worry, there is a door here that Taliesin left open, so we need to draw that in as well. Right, and then let's draw the door, I guess. Let's draw the door. Right, and then that pops out a bit more. Let's quickly remove the vector lines from this layer. Right. And then, how's that looking? Again, I didn't need that background to be too detailed here. Because again, like, there's going to be a white halo effect around these two characters anyway, so it's not much to be bothered about. Okay, I think we're finally on the screen toning portion, folks. Oh my lord, how long have I been live streaming for? I don't even know how long I've been live streaming for, but I don't feel like it's been that long to do the line out for this page. I think we've done it in a pretty decent time, honestly. Oh, gonna let me show the 3D preview, please. I've got to keep remembering to actually drink some of my drink. How do the background lines stay behaving? Oh, sorry. How do the lines stay behind the characters? So what I do is behind the character line art, I put like a white background behind them. And then I can just draw behind the characters on the layer behind. That's kind of my secret hack that I tell people to do. Because that's what I do all the time. It just makes working on screen tones way easier as well as just doing the line art. So if you separate your background line art with your character line art, you'll thank yourself in the future, is what I always say to yourself. It's a format that I always suggest people do, so... You see that comment down there? I don't know. Oh no, the Discord message just went. Oh, yeah. Someone was just saying on added me on Discord on the Discord server, talking about Taliesin and saying he looks hot. Oh dear. I mean, I feel like Taliesin is like the fan favorite character in like the last 3 chapters. I get a lot of compliments on Taliesin, even though I didn't expect him to be as popular as he is. I'm glad that he's popular. So. The layers exactly the same size as characters. Yes. So, if I remove my background here, you can see that some of the characters are in white here. So if I remove that white background, you can see like all the behind line art here, so you can see all the lines going through the characters here, but because I put like a layer in between, I kind of blocked them off. And then, you can adjust your line width as well with this, so you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but it's just line width, and then you can thicken out like these line arts here. You can make them stand out more from the background, but usually what I do is like a white halo effect, like you kind of see it here behind Edwin here. It's kind of like a white aura, and that's how you make them stand out from the background a bit more. Again, that's like a little hack that a lot of manga artists do. There's some neat tricks. If you watch me do this screen toning, I can show you exactly what I mean. So if I work on this first, usually I work on the simple panels first, but I can show you what I mean if I do this panel first. So how long have you been drawing for? I've been drawing for about 10 years now. Roughly 10 years. Not drawing comics. I've only been drawing comics, I would say, for the last 4 years, maybe. Like, seriously, drawing comics for the last 4 years. Drawing comics is only a recent thing, so... But, I mean, I've always been more of a writer than I have been an artist. I've been writing way longer than I have been drawing, so writing was always like what I love doing. And then I found a passion for art, and then obviously comics is that middle ground that links writing to art, and I think that's why I fell in love with comics so much. So, right. Also, I don't have a guide to screen tones for my characters. I just know what their screen tone stuff is. I'd recommend always making like a screen tone guide for all your characters, but I just know them off by heart, so I don't need it. So I draw Larkin too much, so I just know what his screen tone values are. So right, let me draw his shadows here. Right. Thank you so much for following the stream, everyone. I really appreciate it. I'm trying my best to reach 1,000 followers so I can finally link my comic in my bio. That'd be so good, instead of having like a link in my bio that people can't click on and basically they have to type in the browser. So if you guys can get me to 1,000 followers, that would be much appreciated, because I should then have the feature to link my own stuff on my TikTok profile, which would be so much easier instead of telling people to copy the link in my bio or type the link from my bio into their web browser. It would be just so much easier. But no, I really appreciate the follows. It helps get the live stream out to more people, my TikTok to more people, and hopefully find, it gets to people who, really love my story and my manga and my characters. It just helps reach, the right audience, you know what I mean? So I really do appreciate all you guys' support. Again, since I haven't brought it up for a while, I do have a Discord server, so if you like my work, or if you're like a manga creator, a comic creator yourself, or just an artist yourself, or you just like my work, or you read my comic, I do have a Discord that you can join. It's a very small community, but it's really friendly bunch of people on there, and you can just chill on there, just have friendly conversations. It's just a very chilled out community, and we just hang out as such. So if you want something to join that's pretty small, but it's all about creativity and stuff, I'd highly recommend joining my Discord server, which you can find on the link in my bio on my TikTok profile, if you're interested at all. But I chat on there quite a bit too. But yeah, there's some really friendly people on there. Some of my friends from years gone. So there's some people I've known for a very long time on there. So do you have a brush kit? I do not have a brush kit. I can maybe do a video on all the brushes I have saved on here, because I've got so many. I am a hoarder. Guys, of brushes. I hoard so many Clip Studio paintbrushes. It's a bit unhealthy, my obsession with Clip Studio paintbrushes and not using them, because I download all of these brushes and then I never use them. So I've just got a whole library of brushes that I just don't use. I've got my ones that I do use all the time, and they're my go-to ones, but then I have like 20 million brushes that I just don't ever use because it doesn't go with my art style. But I've never had the time really to do a proper sort out and get rid of like a ton of brushes. Yeah, I've just got this massive archive of brushes on my Clip Studio. Oh, I forgot to draw Larkin's bottom lip here. Let me just add that in. Right, let me do that. Alright, and then we need 30 for this mouth. Let's do that. 30. But yeah, the main inking pen I use is the He Pen 2. So I feel like that's the brush that everyone asks me about. It's the He Pen 2 brush that I use for my manga production in terms of inking. That's the brush I like. It works best for me for my art style. Because it feels drawn enough, the lines look inky enough. It's got enough textures for me for my black and white stuff, because I draw in pure black and white. There's no grey in my line art, it's all in black and white, pure black and white. So finding a brush that works well in black and white, it's pretty difficult, guys. But I find the He Pen 2 brush really works for me. So I hope that brush works well for you guys as well. So and for your production of your comics. Right, and that's 60. What genre do you write? I write in a crime, mystery, supernatural genre. So it's set in Victorian era Bath, And yeah, it follows a downtrodden scientist and like someone called the Golden Thief who has golden magic. So it's kind of, if you like Case Study, Vanitas, Moriarty, The Patriot, Black Butler, like those sort of series, you'll probably like my manga. That's kind of like the genre I write in. My friend also kind of calls these series like dark shoujo, because these are actually like shonen series, but tends to have more of a female audience, you know. So I kind of write dark shoujo, if you will. So that's the nickname we kind of call these series, me and my friends. So but I mean, I know there's plenty of guys who read the Thieves and Stuff and Death as well. You know, I know quite a few guys who write manga, so it's not just for female audiences. You guys can enjoy it as well. So, but I would consider it a shonen, because that's the genre that, you know, other similar series fall into. Right, so that goes into there. Right, I'm at 50 for that, and then his back vest is 80. There we go, and then let's do his vest pattern on the front now. So we create a new layer, make that grey, bring this down. Oh, this brush needs to be a bit bigger, I think. Right, and then this one needs to go down this way. And then re-screen tone that. Right, so that's one character done there. It takes a while because I'm a lot quicker once we got like all the screen tone thickness there, so. I'm here. I just got back from college. How are you? I'm doing well, Dylan. How are you doing? We've been live streaming for like an hour. Like, I keep telling people earlier in the stream, I was like, well, I'm only live streaming today because Dylan told me I should live stream. So you know, you guys can thank Dylan that I'm here today, because he was the one who asked when I was next live streaming. I was like, I guess I can live stream today. So you can thank Dylan in chat for me live streaming today. How was college? Was college alright? Right, and then we need 90, because again, her screen tones for her hair is basically the same as Larkin's here, so. Right, so let's put that down. Alright, and I should say that Dylan's in my Discord, so he asked me in my Discord if I could live stream, so. I'm doing good. Done my Boolean resale maths today. I hope I pass. Oh my word! I wish you all the luck. Is that like a GCSE maths you've just taken? I know it is exam season at the moment. I do feel for you, because maths was not my strongest at secondary. I was very lucky to pass GCSE maths back in the day. So I think I got a 5 overall in GCSE maths. So you know, I passed decently. Like, that's a C for people who don't really know. That's like a C in maths. But I was good enough to pass it, you know, so that's the main thing. As long as I pass it, that was the main thing for me, so. Yes, for a GCSE, it's my 4th reset. Oh man, Dylan, I hope you get it. I believe in you this time. You got it. Okay, I'll be your good luck charm. All right. So you're gonna pass it this time. All right. You're not gonna take it for a 5th time. Yeah, because it's just like, yeah, maths is like, I've literally forgotten everything from GCSE maths. Like, if I sat a GCSE maths paper, I would not pass at all. So. Right, and then her eyes are 50, because Ellen's like one of those characters that doesn't actually have highlights at the bottom of her eyes. It's just one solid colour, which is a bit unusual for my characters in my manga. But I like how it looks on her. Great, and then do that. Do her hair. eyebrow shadow. Right, and then slightly bottom lip. I don't think I need to put a shadow on her nose. Tongue, that's 30. Right, and then this is 50 here. But we'll make that darker as well. So if we do 70 here, and then do this part darker as well, and then kind of do like a little gradient sort of effect down here, and then harsher lines down there. Right. Something like that. I don't know, maybe I can make this part of her by her neck slightly darker maybe, and then make that 60 maybe, and then get rid of the 50 down here. I think that might look better. I think it just makes her stand out a bit more. Maybe I should go 20 under the neck actually. This is what I play around with. Alright, let me do 20 under the neck maybe. Math is just the worst, like, just never exists, please now. I feel you with that, I feel you with that. Oh, thank you. I said, this is why it's also useful to have people in my live streams. Is it because there is stuff like this. Well, you can tell that an AI has not written my script with mistakes like that. Thank you very much. I'm sure my test readers would have picked it up, but also like what you find when you're creating like a long ass manga chapter is that you kind of get word blind to a lot of things happening on the page that, you know, your brain kind of autocorrects what you're reading a lot of the time. And I keep, you know, I try and explain this to people, is that, you know, when you're staring at a page for so long, you just get word blind and you just think it's natural, you know. So I do appreciate, you know, people pointing out stuff like that to me, because it makes my life easier. It also makes my test readers' life easier too, because it's something that they do not have to tell me later on. So you're welcome. Send it to me and I'll proofread it. I teach English anyways. Yeah, it said if you, I don't know if you got Discord, but if you join my Discord server, then I can send you this to proofread. I would really appreciate that. Actually, I do have some test readers already. But if you want to proofread it, I'd really appreciate it, because it is quite a big chapter. This one, so if you did have time, I'd really appreciate it. You know, I don't like having too many test readers, but if you're an English teacher, that's really helpful. Because most people are just more like volunteers, you know, so it's not actually people who maybe study English or anything like that. So you know, I'm open if you want to proofread this chapter to proofread it. But you know, as long as you don't tell the spoilers to other people, I do not mind you proofreading this. So I'm old. I don't know about Discord. So Discord is kind of like a chatting platform. You would have to create an account and download an application. But essentially, if I bring it up, like this is Discord. So it's like a little group of people. So this is one specifically for my manga, but it's just a way that it's easier for me to communicate than like here on TikTok, because it's be quite hard to send links and stuff here on TikTok. But yeah, if you ever wanted to help out, then that would kind of be the way to do it. If not, then you can always email me, which is elodieDowContact@gmail.com. I don't know. Let me see if I can type it out. If I create a new thing, I'll show you my email address. It's elodieDowContact@gmail.com. I don't know if that's big enough for you to see. Oh, that's a bit too big for this canvas. Yeah, so it's just elodieDowContact if you prefer email. You can contact me via email. I'm likely going to work on a few one-shots before I work on my monthly manga. Gonna be a big story. Yeah, that's what I recommend. I made a ton of like short comics before working on the Thieves of Stuff and Death. It's what I suggest people to do. I read a lot of manga and manhwas, so it's no problem. Yeah, I'd really appreciate it. So feel free just to email me if you can't use Discord for whatever reason. You can just reach out to me via email, and I'll try and send you all the pages I have so far for chapter 11. Because I mean I've just started on chapter 11, so it'd be handy to have someone kind of proofread it now. Even though I presume, in a way, it's kind of good to have someone proofread it who doesn't know what is happening in the story. Because that's what my test readers are for. They're people who have read the entire story. But to have someone like you proofread it and not know what's kind of going on in the story is probably easier to spot the mistakes. You know what I mean? So... Because that's kind of like how my mum does it as well. Because she doesn't tend to remember everything that's happening in my manga, so she spots the mistakes a lot better than me and my test readers would ever. So she sees it as like a grammatical way, I guess, as well. So because again, like I've got speech and language disorder, so for me, grammatical formats and things in that nature is really difficult for me because it also affects how I speak. And how I speak is how I write. So I really struggle with grammatical structures as well. I really struggle with that. But, you know, usually my mum helps me out with that, so... Alright, and then let's get 11 all sorted out. Yeah, let's put this all down. All the shadows. I know I sometimes question why I put shadows in my screen tones because I feel like a lot of manga don't. It just takes a bit longer to do screen tones, but I like the effect it looks, you know, how it looks like, so. Alright, and then put it that way. Right, and then I kind of want to do... What do I want to do? I could go 30. I kind of go kind of this sort of... Actually, I could go 20. I kind of do like a haunting sort of facial expression. I could kind of go like... I could go kind of like that for her here. Or something like this. Yeah. Which I feel like would probably express her in the best way for this panel if I do it like that, so let me do that. Because she's being serious, but she's not trying to be too threatening, you know, because I would have an angry expression if she's really like pissed off, but she's not pissed off really that much at Larkin in this scene, but I mean she is a bit mad. How do you draw heads? The Loomis method annoys me. Dylan, check out my latest video on TikTok. I had this question last live stream and I showed someone how I draw heads. So if you check out my TikTok page and find like one of my latest videos, I show how I draw a head really quickly, like how I block out a head in my manga. So... that's so cool what you're doing. I prefer colour myself, but it's really good. Thank you. It's that I love doing stuff in colour, but for like comic production, it's so difficult. Like drawing in colour, like I have drawn colour pages for the Thieves of Stuff from Death in the past, but like drawing colour pages in comics, it's really difficult. I really do commend anyone who does colour in their comics because it is not for the faint of heart, honestly. It's so much easier for me to work in screen tones and black and white. Yeah, because I've tried coloured comics in the past and yeah, they're difficult. I do them every so often for the Thieves of Stuff and Death, but not a lot. I kind of save them for like flashbacks, colour pages. But the only colour pages in the Thieves, Stuff and Death so far is flashback pages. So I kind of want to keep that going. Which I do have a flashback plan for chapter 12. So we'll be drawing more colour pages in the future, but I need to get this chapter done first, and then that can happen. So and then that can go in there. Right, and then that could be a 30 here or something like that, and then we draw highlights. Alright, and then let's draw shadows for the 50 layer. Right, and then I feel like we want a heavy shadow coming from her neck downwards down there, and then sorry, I will look at chat in a second. I'm just going to get these shadows done on Elwyn. Go that way, shadows there. And then her boobs as well. Give me 1 second. There's really no good way unless I say breasts, isn't there? So, or chest, I guess. There we go. Alright, and then we've got to have slight shadow there. There we go, and then we need that also on that 20 layer too, so let's quickly add that too. Right, there we go, and then her buttons should also be 20, so let me just quickly adjust that too. Alright, oh, I forgot to draw shadow lines under her neck. Right, let me check chat. Has this been released yet? If so, what's the name, if you don't mind? Yeah, so it's called The Thieves Who Stole from Death. It's online to read. So, you know, you can read it for free online. It's on Manga Plus Creators, Global Comics, Webtoon Canvas. I will say there is some grammatical errors on those versions online. Which I do know about, and I'm going to fix it for next print release as well. Because I know there was some on like chapter 3, I think, that there was some errors there. On like 2 bubbles I noticed it on. But like apart from that, like there shouldn't be any more grammatical errors, fingers crossed. So I'm getting used to the word blindness, so right, and then what should we do? Oh, I forgot to draw the tail end as well in her mouth here. So that goes down there. Right, and then I kind of want to keep working on elements, so I'll do that here. Right. But yeah, I do have physical editions as well. If you want a physical book, I do have physical books. But they're all on my Etsy, and it only goes up to chapter 6 in volume 1. So obviously there's a lot more content online at the moment. But I do plan on printing out a volume 2 eventually. But I need to get chapter 12 done before then. So because that's when arc 1 to end. So. Right, and then 90 down here. No, it hadn't asked me to do a puzzle today on TikTok Live. Usually it asks me to do a puzzle to make sure I'm not a bot, but it hasn't done that today. So I don't know if TikTok finally trusts me that I'm not a robot. Because usually it asks me if I'm a robot. I'm like, no, I'm not a robot. But it hasn't done that for me today. So maybe it finally trusts me, folks. So I don't need to keep checking my phone every 5 minutes to do the check. So I'm moving up in life. Right, and then shadow down here. Right, Alright, and then highlights. Right. And then her skin. Actually, let's do her eyes. 50-50. Then we can do her skin. Right, and then the shadow down here for her hair. Right, and then put 50 here. Oh no, that's a 70 there. Oh yeah, what am I doing today? 50 now. Alright, and I will put that under speed lines in just a second. There we go. Right, and then we add more shadow under that. Again, it is mostly shadow on this side on her. Again, I'm not going to do it as heavy as I did on that last panel down there. And then put that back on. Alright, and then should we do Larkin now because he's right above. Why not? And then go down that way, here. And then we put 90 in. And that goes shadow time. I apologise if I'm being a bit quiet, I'm just concentrating right now. This always happens when I get to the screen toning time of, you know, the page. So I'm just doing a lot of concentration, making sure it's bold enough so it stands out from the background then. Right, and then do it that way. And we go down, and then we go like that, and then if we do that, and then if we add highlights into Larkin's hair, go that way. I feel like these highlights can be slightly smaller down here. Right, and then Larkin's eyes. Right, and then the 50s. And again, I forgot to draw a shadow line under Larkin's neck here, so let's really add that back in. Oh, we don't want that in white, we want it in black. Draw little lines. Right, and then put that 10 in. $90, and then 80, then we need more 10 in here, down here too, and then here, and then under the lip here, and then we keep that white. I don't feel like I need any backgrounds with these two panels. I don't think it's needed. I'll be honest. So I think it's fine how it is. What panel did I work on next? I've got two options. I can either work on the background on this one, or I can work on the other two. I think I kind of want to do the background on this middle one. Let me do this one. So if I make a new screen tone folder, screen tones, and then let's do the wood part of it first. So we grab like a bit of the wood here, and then do we want to do an upwards gradient? I feel like I want to do an upwards gradient for this. And then I can show you kind of how I'm separating them from the background a bit here. So give me 1 second. Ooh, did I not erase some of the whites here? Give me 1 sec. So that's supposed to be white. So if we blur that out, and that's actually supposed to be a 90 shadow here. That's fine. Right, back to this. Back to the wood. Go that way, down there. Right, and then there's a wood outline on this frame down here. And then the walls, I just want a slight gradient going downwards on. Not that dark. Like something like that. Alright, and then we want for this part just to kind of have that be pretty dark going down the stairs down here. So we want to make that pretty dark. But we also kind of want it to get lighter as it gets to the top slightly. But we kind of want to put it back down there. And then a gradient going upwards. So if we do something like this. And then erase this part. Alright, and then can we put some shadow on those steps? Yep. I think we can make those even darker even. So let's do a gradient for those steps as well. Something like that. There you go. Okay, and then if we do a white halo behind Larkin and Elowin in this panel. So let's select this area of the panel. And we put a white halo around them. There we go. And to be fair, I don't think we need one around Elowin. I think she stands out enough from the background that she doesn't need one. So we'll leave her be. It just worked out the screen tones for that, for her, so. Right, and then let's slightly erase this one down here. Rightio. Okay, and then. That should be looking okay. Yeah, that's pretty bold. I like them being bold. Thank you so much for all the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. Is that I'm trying to get through 1,000 TikTok followers at the moment so I can properly link my stuff in my bio. That would be nice. So I think we're almost out. I don't know how many followers I'm on at the moment, but that is my goal. It has been my goal for the last year. So I really appreciate the follows. Again, it helps me get this stream out to more people, my TikTok to more people. It gets more people exposed to my manga, and you know, hopefully reaches more people who might be interested in it. So I really do appreciate it, and I really appreciate you following me, because hopefully that means you like my work. So thank you very much for all the follows. Right, and then go that way. And let's add shadows into Larkin's hair again. I like adding shadows to Larkin's hair. It's like kind of one of my favourite things to do is add shadows to Larkin's hair. I don't know why, but it's so satisfying to me for some reason. I just love screen toning in general. It is my favourite part, I think, of a manga page is screen toning. It is basically colouring in for me, so it's probably why I enjoy it so much, because I do like colouring in general as well, so. Right, and then put the shadow in there. Right, and then put some highlights here. Right, so that's marking his hair and eyes done. And then we need shadow for under his neck again. And then on his face. Right, and then 30 for the mouth, so we see his mouth in this panel. And then 50 for here, his neck scarf. Dun 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 dun. Right, and then we put all of this in. Brilliant, and then I know it's also supposed to be 50 down there, 50 under here. Right, and then if we add shadows to this now. So if we go down here, look in the shadows down there. Do we need to add a gradient down here maybe? If I just do it to this, try and do it to the strap, I know some of it's going to bleed onto the actual bag itself. Do it that way. I don't know. I may keep it blank because actually his trousers are 60 down here, so I probably want to keep that as far as away as possible because I will just add a shadow on his trousers anyways. So if I quickly just do the shadows on his trousers, it should go this way. And do that. Right, and then I see a part of the screen tone I haven't filled it in yet, so that's down there. There we go. And then let's add the shadows back into that 50 layer. Right, so that goes down there. That goes down there. And then I think pretty much everything else was screen toned by then. Nice. Okay, and then 90 for his vest strips down here. Down here too. Okay, we don't need all of that to be 90. What is happening? There we go. And then 80. And I'll just make up a line for him up here. Do I do his best pattern? I might get rid of this speed line to do his best pattern. So we know it is 90 here. Oh, do I have this speed line over here? We don't need the speed line there. We need that above the screen tones. Let's quickly do that. Okay. And then I'll put his bag back here again. And then that can be screen tone again. And then now we can do his vest. So if we select that. Dun 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 dun. Go this way. And then I don't know if I can minus that hand back out again because we don't need this hand screen tones. And then if we select this and quickly include those speed lines in the entire thing. Right, and then grey layer. Let's put his pattern down here. Oh, it's not selected down here for whatever reason. Right. And he's twisting his body here, so this is going to be a bit harder in general to put his vest pattern on. I've still not selected these parts here. Why has it not done that for? goes down there. Okay. Right, and then that can be 90 here and 90 here and 90 there. Brilliant. Alright, I'm trying to figure out why this is so far across. Because technically it should be more up here to how I usually draw it. So I don't understand why I've made a line here. But also it's really thick, which isn't how I usually draw it either. So if I just quickly delete all of this, 1 second, let me redraw this line. So, alright, so we need that to go up here, go there, and then we put that in. So be that 90, that 80. No, that's a bit better. And then add shadows to his clothes now. Down there, squint in there. And then his knuckles. And let me not turn my monitor off, that would be good, thank you. Right, and then put that in. Actually, we can get the speed line back up again. It doesn't really matter when I'm doing the 10%. And then we put this in. Right, and then put that up there. And down there. Brilliant. Okay. Right, and then I could put a sound effect here, but I don't know. It would be probably like a whip, I guess. Like a whip. Kind of like this sort of whip. I was just trying to think what lettering might work well here. Could it be like a whip? If that can fit on nicely. And then if we don't know if that's going to stand out really. I don't know about that. I could do like a normal whip, I guess, and then outline that in white. If we do a 15. And then match that down. Usually I write my own my own sound effects out, but I don't need to really rip, so. Or I can have it further down this way maybe. The whip. Right, and then we've got just this panel now. Right, so, and then after this panel, I think we're pretty much done with this page. There you go. Right, and then go down there, and then 50. And then if I made that 70, good. I'm not going to draw his pattern there. And then 60, put down here. Alright, and then let's draw his trouser shadows in. So we've got down here. And then I know this leg is further forward. So let's put a heavier shadow down here actually. And then that goes that direction. Right, and then do we need a slight gradient maybe down here? And we can have it even at the top here, but I think it should just be fine at the bottom. And then if we do Larkin's hair, go that direction. Right, and then some heavy shadows down here for Larkin. Right, and then highlights. And put that in. And oh, I need to put his bag strap in 15 a second too. I will work on that in just a second. Alright, and then I'm not too worried about his hand being shaded in booty. Right, and then bag is 50. But honestly, I might make this size 7, even 80 maybe. Just have it stand a bit better against his trouser leg. Because again, usually he'd wear this bag with his coat, which is black. So this bag usually stands out a lot more. But I have to play a bit more around with the screen tones when he's currently lost his coat. So... But eventually he should get his coat back, but yeah, it's going to be a while. Right, and then the shadow down here. Right, and that goes here. Brilliant. Okay, and then do her hair as well. So that's going to be 70 for her hair. Right, and then 90 for her shadows. Right, and I don't really need that much detail in her hair here, so... Right, and then put that down. Right, and then a 20 for her top. Right, I'm not going to bother shading that in because there's very little there. And put black there, and then her skirt is 70. And then we'll put some shadows into that. Thank you very much for following, everyone. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. So thank you very much for following and liking the stream. It all helps me out. Thank you. Right, and then let's add a slight gradient onto here. Right, and then if we turn that off, and then I just want to select her skirt and I'll add her pattern to her skirt. Right, so if we do that, favourite materials, where is it? Here we go. So, we get her little pattern on here. If it doesn't lag, come on now, Clip Studio, you're gonna load, thank you. Right, and then we select the 10% shadows for our arms, and then that should be pretty much there. Right, and then just got the background for this, so let's do that, and then we should be pretty much there. Right, and this background is going to be pretty easy. I don't think it's going to take me that long to do it. Right, so if we drag that up, let's move this down slightly. And select all of this. Right, and then that's the door included in that as well. And then this needs to go. I could do it that way, I guess, this time. Usually I do it the opposite direction because that's what you're supposed to do in art, but for this we kind of need this doorway to be a bit mysterious for the next page. So it's quite important that this door kind of needs to, this hallway needs to be kind of dark down here. Kind of like that, and then, right, and then if we select all of that, and then I'm going to also select these panels down here actually. I've just ruined all the wood stuff I've just done, but I need it for these panels to be in the same gradient here. Actually, if I select that layer that I did that gradient, I'll just quickly shove it all on. There we go. Right, and then the floorboards. If we do it, oh, not that direction. Right, polyline. So we select this panel again, and if you do it this direction, go down this way. Oh my word. Why is it so... I don't want it to be too dark. It's looking really dark at the moment. I don't know. Maybe I just need to select the... Okay, if I select it for that wall specifically, I could do a downward gradient on that. If it will let me do it, that'd be nice. Why are you not letting me do it? Alright, if I select here, right, and then if we erase that outline here, and then address the gradient here. So it still feels like the wall's kind of dark, but further ahead than the end of the corridor. Right, and then if we do the floorboards now, so if I just select some of the floorboard, it doesn't need to be all of it, it's just to get the gradient properly slotted in. If we align it to the floorboard perspective, we drag that up, and then have that slightly longer maybe, and then let's select all of that. Right, and then I will also put a halo effect around these guys in a second. I'm just gonna see if I can get all of their stuff sorted out first. Right, and then this wall again it's missing some of that gradient in there. It's missing something there. I can see it far away. You guys won't be able to see it, but I can see it. Oh yeah, it's just there. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Right, and then there's also something on this layer too. That's not working. Oh, it would be this layer. There we go. Let's select that. Okay, and then move back this. Something like that maybe. And then if we do a white halo effect around Lark and Edwin now. Something like that. I mean, I could do some speed lines, but I don't feel like they need speed lines here. Like, we know they're moving forward, despite the look of them, so... and then I was thinking of adding some firefly sort of effect here, just because it's dark. It's just like some little dusty things. So we could go like that in the background. It just adds a bit more information when there's not much going on in the background here. I mean, I could add some speed lines there. But do I want to is the question. And I don't think I want to. But, I mean, we can try it, we can test it out. So if we do that, and if we angle it, so it goes kind of the direction we want. But I think it'd be better downwards. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work unless I don't think I want speed lines. And I guess it would be a focus line more than a speed line. Because you could draw the circle down here. And kind of have that sort of effect. And then if we just mask this off. Do like a layer mask. And then if we bring those lines in a bit more because they don't need to be as long. Something like that, and then if we just keep them in the frame. Right, and then if I put them in line with this floorboard or something, we could go with something like that. That's not too bad actually. I actually don't mind it with speed lines. I think it might look a bit better with speed lines actually. I don't know, should I put a black background behind Elowen in this back panel? I don't know, because I feel like I kind of want it to be kind of a different shade to show her opposing view to Larkin. So we could have it be in black. This is when I kind of get a bit creative with the backgrounds here, because I'm like, do I want this? Do I want that? I do not know. It's kind of whatever works best with the dialogue and to present the dialogue better. So I feel like I need to show that she feels quite differently about this compared to Larkin. I think I like it in the black. Right, and then I feel like in this panel, if I go and polyline this again, and if I set this layer to grayscale and go in with my airbrush, we can kind of make this slightly darker maybe. Like kind of get like a little gradient effect going on this one, and then make it at 50. Right, and then we can smooth that out as well. Right, smooth it all nice. And so brilliant, and then I might just erase that slightly too, because I don't want to be too dark for the entire panel. Do something like that. Okay, let me preview it, and then if I'm happy with it, then we're done. So let's have a look. Dun, 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 dun. I feel like I can do this last panel a bit better now looking at it a second time. I don't know if I like the 20 there. I feel like I could just draw her with her normal face now in a way, because I feel like the background can do a lot of the storytelling there rather than the 20 on her face. I don't know. Cause Fletcher scenes. I guess it has been pretty white during Larkin sequence so far. So yeah, let me get rid of that 20 on her face here. Restarting. Restarting her face. 1 second. Because what I could do instead, I could do like this sort of effect where it's only like some of her faces like that, which I think might look better. I think that looks better already. And then if you do 50 for her eyes, because I think we can give her eyes back, and I feel like that make her look a bit more daunting. And then if we don't have the highlight on top of her eyes too, I think that look cool. And then if we put a shadow back in here, put a shadow back in her nose. Right, and then a shadow under her neck. And then change that back. So you can do something like that. And then when I usually do those panels, I usually draw lines on it too. So I'm just going to keep my art style a bit more consistent and actually draw lines where that screen touring falls. So let me do that. So be some lines, it'd be pretty sketchy lines that I tend to do under here. There you go. In a way, I kind of want her text to change here. I think I've got like a font in mind, so I might just change the font slightly because I kind of want her to sound slightly different. I think like something like that sort of font. I'll quickly adjust the stuff for it in a second. Oh, that's the wrong one. Bold one. Right, and then that one needs to be slightly bigger. So if we maybe make that a size 13. And then we'll bring this all closer together to fit in with my base text, because this is a bit too far apart at the moment. So if we go... I can never find what I'm looking for in this. Font, okay, that's it. And then we want... It's not character spacing. It's not going to be that either. It's not going to be size. It's not going to be horizontal ratio. Why did I usually do this? Oh, it's a B-line space. That'll be it. So if we do like 90, I guess. That's about the same as the other one then. Okay, and then if we do that one, and we'll also change that to 90. And then I think we can slightly adjust the text here for this bubble down. So if we quickly readjust it, making assumptions. Okay. Alright, and then... Oh, we don't need this striked out. Could make it a size 14 to be fair. If we want her text to stand out a bit more. And then if we check that up a bit. It's called being a detective. This is me just playing around for a bit now. It's called being a detective. Surely you'd know from being a researcher about making assumptions. Yeah, I like the font for this a bit more. It shows that she's being a bit more blunt. Okay, let's preview this, because I just need to see from a text point if that's clear enough on the double spread. Yeah, that looks good. I like that text. I feel like the Larkin's map doesn't need to be as thick in this panel though, because that seems thicker than usual. So let me just quickly reduce the line weight of his mouth. You're gonna let me select all of it. I don't know if we reduce it down. Or I could just redraw his mouth, I guess. This might be easier. Now looking at this. If I just quickly do that, let me just create a new layer. Let me just redraw this mouth to be a bit thinner. Right, and then if we bring that back up again. Oh, that's not what I want. I want this one reversed. And then, if anything, I feel like his mouth needs to be smaller in this panel. Why are you like this? Oh, that's more of a Fletcher mouth. Sorry, a Larkin mouth there. So that's what was annoying me. It was like his mouth doesn't look like what Larkin would make. Yeah, that looks like more of a facial expression that Larkin would make. Right. He doesn't tend to go big open mouth usually, so. Right. Okay, can I preview it, please? It should be saved. Yeah, I don't think really there's anything more to add to this page. Because it conveys everything that I want it to do. Because the thing is, the focus is not on the backgrounds. That's what I didn't want it to be focused on. Like, you shouldn't really care about the background in these panels. Apart from the fact that you know that they're walking towards this little corner here. And the reason for this little corner is because Fleur's going to appear next page. So as soon as Larkin and Elowen turns the corner, Fleur should be there. So that's the reason why at least you need to see this little corner part here. That was the main thing. So as long as that's kind of appeared, and then we know that the staircase is behind, which is what Taliesin has gone down. I think that works well. We get this fun little pop out of Fleur, which I feel like I haven't done in forever. It's kind of like have a full body of someone popping out of frame, so I'm doing it there. And I do like this whip panel. Usually I would have them Larkin be closer to us for something like this, but I feel like because we have so many close-ups in this page specifically, it's just nice to zoom out a little bit for this. Sorry, useless, whatever. I'm just smack. I'm alive. That's not pathetic. Running on you over here. Well, you like this, and you're not sure that says enough. You don't know it and nothing about him. You know nothing about him. Excuse me. Stop making baseless assumptions about us. It's called being a detective. Surely you know me about making assumptions. Okay. Just get me out of here. Okay, yeah, I'm pleased with that. That serves its purpose. Again, it's more of a conversation machine. When Larkin, and I like their expressions, which is the most important part. Alright, so I'll leave it there for today. So thank you for everyone who joined me for this TikTok live stream today. Thank you, Dylan, for asking me to live stream today on Discord. Hopefully you enjoyed it. But yeah, this is page 7 done. So thank you very much for tuning in. Very excited to draw Fleur next page, because again I've spoiled that. That's the next page I'm working on. And I will see you guys all a little later. So see ya. Bye bye.